Bulldozers in action in Nagpur. Illegal portion of a house of riot accused Mohammad Fahim demolished. Fahim Khan, main accused in the Nagpur riots. Corporation targets Fahim's bungalow. More bulldozer action to follow. Supreme Court guidelines flouted. Yogi model goes to Maharashtra. Bulldozer action on riot accused is our top focus on India First. So the illegal portion of the double-storied building of the alleged mastermind of the Nagpur riots, Fahim Khan, the illegal portions were demolished by the Nagpur Municipal Corporation earlier today. But the Nagpur bench of the Bombay High Court, it's come down very heavily on the corporation action, which it described not only as high-handed, it also stayed the demolition of the homes of other accused in this case. The questions we're asking here on India Today: did the Nagpur Municipal Corporation follow due process of law? Is the Yogi model of Uttar Pradesh now the go-to model even in Maharashtra to deal with alleged criminals, mafia and riot accused? Is there merit in the contention that this is heavily applied, as some argue, against the minority community, whether in Uttar Pradesh or in Maharashtra? And does the demolition drive actually deter mafia, criminals, rioters and suspected or alleged terrorists? We explore. I'm Gaurav Sawant. As always, let's get started. So days after the riots in Nagpur in Maharashtra, bulldozers and earth-moving excavators arrived sharp at 10 this morning in a locality in Nagpur. There was over a company strength. That's more than 120 police personnel deployed according to local reports. So there was a DCP, 2 assistant commissioners of police, 15 inspectors, over 100 constables and several in riot care prepared to deal with any eventuality. And then the bulldozer action began on a 2-storied building. Now this 2-storied building, according to the Municipal Corporation of Nagpur, is the house of the Nagpur riots' main accused, Fahim Khan. Authorities insist there were multiple complaints of rampant illegal construction in the locality. They carried out a survey, pasted a notice, and once that mandatory 24-hour notice period lapsed, the demolition was ordered. But the High Court, the Nagpur bench of the Bombay High Court, was clearly not impressed, calling the action high-handed. This comes after Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis warned that rioters would be held accountable for damage caused by the violence and the riots. The opposition continues to target the Devendra Fadnavis-led Maharashtra Mahayuti government, questioning the deteriorating law and order situation in the state. There are also those who question the adoption of the Yogi model of Uttar Pradesh in Maharashtra.
नागपुर महानगर पालिका की अतिक्रमण विभाग की ओर से नागपुर के संजय बाग स्थित इसी 2 मंजिला इमारत पर बुलडोजर कार्रवाई की जा रही है। नागपुर के संजय बाग कॉलोनी स्थित यही नागपुर हिंसा मामले का मास्टरमाइंड माना जाने वाला फहीम शमीम खान का 2 मंजिला इमारत था, जिसे बुलडोजर की मदद से, जेसीबी की मदद से पूरी तरह जो है वो ध्वस्त किया गया है। दरअसल 900 स्क्वायर फीट में बना हुआ यह मकान जो है उसे पूरी तरह तोड़ दिया गया है। हम तस्वीरों में साफ देख सकते हैं तोड़ने की प्रक्रिया जो है वो इस समय यहाँ चल रही है। लगातार यहाँ देख सकते हैं हम कार्रवाई हो रही है। श्री देवेंद्र फडणवीस ने 2 दिन पहले नागपुर में साफ किया था कि अगर जरूरत पड़ी तो दंगाइयों के घर पर बुलडोजर एक्शन हो सकता है। ठीक वही एक्शन नागपुर हिंसा मामले का मास्टरमाइंड फहीम खान के घर पर यहाँ हो रही है।
तो पुलिस विभाग से पत्र प्राप्त हुआ था और वरिष्ठों के आदेश भी थे, उस अनुसार से कार्रवाई हो रही है। यहाँ पे जहीरुन्निसा शमीम खान इनकी अवैध यहाँ पे इमारत थी और चूँकि सैंक्शन नहीं था, मैं आपको ये हमने 24 घंटे का नोटिस दिया था MRTP उस हिसाब से आज कार्रवाई चल रही है।
वी गॉट अ स्टे और इसलिए हमारा ये डिमोलिशन रुका है। लेकिन इतना बड़ा डैमेज हुआ है, हमारी इज्जत की डैमेज किया है, इन्हें हमारे पैसे से डैमेज किया है और टाइम से डैमेज किया है। ये एनएमसी ने अपनी नाहक कार्रवाई करके ये एक्शन लिया है।
महाराष्ट्र में हम लोग अपने तरीके से कार्रवाई करते हैं। जहां बुलडोजर चलाने की आवश्यकता होगी वहां चलेगा, जहां गलत काम होगा उसको रौंदा जाएगा, किसी को बख्शा नहीं जाएगा।
फिर आप गृह मंत्री हो ना, डबल इंजन चल रही है ना सरकार, पूरा देश आपके हाथ में, महाराष्ट्र आपके हाथ में, इसके बावजूद नागपुर में दंगा कैसे होता है? हर जगह एक ही नहीं अपना। फिर जिसने दंगा भड़काया उनके ऊपर कार्रवाई क्या करेंगे आप? पूरी जांच करो और जो भी है उसमें गुनहगार।
And the Nagpur bench of the Maharashtra High Court granted a stay on the demolition of properties belonging not just to the petitioner, including the prime accused Fahim Khan, but also co-accused and other petitioners, including Yusuf Sheikh. The High Court raised serious concerns regarding the absence of a hearing given to the owners of the property who are allegedly responsible for the construction of the illegal portion of the structure prior to the demolition action that was subsequently executed. So, information that we've been able to gather, Fahim Khan's property was demolished prior to the passing of the High Court's interim order and stay that came earlier this afternoon. The High Court has directed the government and the municipal authorities to provide a response. Not just that, it stayed the demolition drive that was to be carried out over subsequent days. So, which means other accused in this case, including Yusuf Sheikh. Yusuf Sheikh's house, a part of the balcony which was illegal, was targeted, but remaining portion, we are told now will not be targeted because will not be demolished because of the stay. The matter is now scheduled for further hearing on the 15th of April. Let's listen in to the lawyer of Fahim Khan, the main accused in the Nagpur riots case.
सुनवाई के पहले ही नागपुर महानगर पालिका ने जोर जबरदस्ती से मकान फहीम खान का गिराया है और उसके बाद जब याचिका पे सुनवाई हुई 2:30 बजे तो कोर्ट ने फटकार लगाते हुए प्रतिवादी को ये कहा है कि ये याचिका करते भारत के नागरिक है कि नहीं। और वैसे ही सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो जजमेंट है उसमें सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जो डायरेक्शन दिया है कि आरोपी अगर होता भी है तो भी उसको 15 दिन का समय उसका कंस्ट्रक्शन लीगल है कि नहीं वो बताने के लिए समय दिया जाना चाहिए। और सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजमेंट का उल्लंघन होने के कारण डायरेक्शन जो दिए हाई कोर्ट ने और तत्काल डिमोलिशन पे स्टे लगाया है।
So from Mukhtar Ansari to Atiq Ahmed, from Ghulam Mohammad to Fahim Khan, Yogi Adityanath to Devendra Fadnavis. Is the Maharashtra government following in the footsteps of the Uttar Pradesh government to punish alleged criminals, mafia and rioters by demolishing their alleged illegal properties? The bigger question that we're asking here on India Today is due process of law being followed? Is the demolition action in violation of Supreme Court guidelines? Let's try and make sense of these developments. Joining me on India First is Sardar R.P. Singh, national spokesperson of the BJP. Dr. Vikram Singh is former DGP of the Uttar Pradesh Police for a legal and police perspective, law enforcer's perspective. And Syed Asad Abbas joins us as a political analyst. R.P. Singh, has this boomeranged? The Nagpur bench of the Maharashtra, of the Bombay High Court, has come down heavily on the Nagpur Municipal Corporation. It has said that the Nagpur Municipal Corporation action is high-handed. It's also stayed the demolition of homes of other accused. The opposition says Bulldozer action is political.
Gaurav, the process is that you need to issue a notice. That process was followed. Notice was issued 24 hours before the demolition, and a reply was sought that why your building should not be demolished is unauthorized and illegal. This is as per the earlier ruling of the Bombay High Court. So, Maharashtra High Court. And this has happened now. This happened in case of earlier when the film stars building was demolished. It was said that 24-hour notice should be issued, and the due process was followed. Now, there are certain people who want to defend such actions. They can, because they are in favor of people who were demolishing people's house. They were burning, they were targeting people's house. They were ransacking the properties of the people. They can be in their support. But now the Nagpur authorities will have to go to the higher court or will have to appeal, go to the court and seek relief on this, because this is against the law, because certain law was dictated by the court earlier on this in the
Fair
similar
enough.
matter.
Syed Asad Abbas, respond to RP Singh when he says that there are some people who stand with criminals, with mafia, with riot accused, and it's politics. Nagpur Municipal Corporation also insists due process of law was followed. Survey was done on the 20th of March. Notice pasted on the 21st of March. 24-hour notice given. There was no response. Action was carried out on the illegal portion on the 24th of March, sir.
Firstly, there has been a violation of the Supreme Court's orders. Let me just quickly read out to my friend from the BJP. The Supreme Court on Wednesday, a bench led by Justice Gawai and Justice Vishwanathan, lashed out that states which metamorphose into judges to punish accused persons awaiting trial by driving bulldozers into their homes indulge in a naked display of might is right without sparing a thought for families rendered shelterless and destitute overnight. Not just that, Justice Gawai and Justice Vishwanathan have also spoken of the collective punishment, and they led a binding directives of 15 days. If there has been illegal encroachment, respected sir, as per the Supreme Court's orders, you need to give a minimum of 15 days, not 24 hours, sahab. What if it's happened to you or your family, sir? सरदार जी साहब आप बताइए क्या 24 घंटे काफी हैं? This man Fahim Khan, put him in jail. Put him in jail. I will not stop you, sir. I will be the first one on Gaurav Sawant show. But the fact is, what about his parents? What about his children? What about his family? What have they done, sir? Also,
one by
more
one.
important point. One last
Sir,
point.
let's take it point by point. Let's take
chilling.
it point by point. RP Singh, you want to quickly respond to the point that, 24-hour notice not enough. Supreme Court mandates 15 days at least. And I'll come to that point in just a moment.
Well, the Supreme Court says demolition without the following due process are unacceptable and can lead to collective punishment of the families. Well, the due process which is there as per the municipal corporation was followed. I mean, there's a law, there's a municipal corporation law, and that was thoroughly followed by the local body. And now, since the court has given an order against that, they will probably go to court again on a bigger bench and plead for that this was as per the law.
Okay, can I quickly counter that?
Okay, I want to bring in Dr. Vikram Singh. I want to quickly bring in Dr. Vikram Singh, and I'll come back to you in a moment. Dr. Vikram Singh, there's a 17th century English saying, and it's an oft-repeated proverb, every man's home is his castle. Bulldozer, every man's home is his castle. Now, is bulldozer action political? Is it vendetta against a community as alleged by some? How do you see the use of bulldozers, whether it's in Uttar Pradesh or now in Nagpur?
Good evening, Gaurav, and good evening, gentlemen. I would say that like any surgery, the bulldozer action, when it is within the ambit of law and as mandated by the Honorable Supreme Court, it is a justification for all those mafia and those who have taken law in their own hands and have usurped public property and priceless government land. And therefore, a bulldozer action within the ambit of law is absolutely justified. When I say within the ambit of law and as per the Supreme Court guidelines, this is exactly how it should happen. I give you three examples, Gauravji. One, that an encroachment has happened on municipal land, then there has to be a different procedure. Something that happens on the police lines, on railway property, on forest land, blatant encroachment that is happening right underneath my nose, then an immediate action is required. A notice is given, a loudspeaker announcement is sufficient for the cause of justice, and that it is not that I give you 15 days, then when you are encroaching on absolute government land, usurping priceless government land, then It is the right, like it is somebody, Fahim Castle, it is the castle of the railway property, the police department, the forest department, to safeguard their castles and their property, and therefore they are well within their rights. As Sardar R.P. Singh ji has said, they can go to a double judge bench and say that we probably did not put up our case appropriately, and therefore the Honorable Court has given the judgment which we solemnly respect. But when the orders are passed, they have to be scrupulously honored and respected, whether it is anybody. And yes, people like Fahim and other Bahubalis whom you named, they feel that every government land is my land, and with the tacit, the complicit support of powers that be, they are able to usurp the land. And therefore, when they wake up, I would also say, whoever was the person in charge of the municipality, he should also be taken to task. Why did he allow this mushrooming of illegitimate constructions to come up in the first place? They should also be taken to task.
Fair enough, Syed Asad Abbas. The Uttar Pradesh government had claimed that they had recovered 67,000 acres of land. 67,000 acres of government land was recovered from mafia control. And they carried out demolition, and the demolition was of property worth 980 crore. And these were reports that were very widespread. So when properties, illegal properties of mafia or accused mafia like Mukhtar Ansari, over 60 cases against him, Atiq Ahmed, more than 100 cases against him. Now, when their properties are demolished, it clearly would send a message to criminals to think twice before taking law in their own hands.
Gaurav Saab, absolutely no doubt about it. You know, these are convicted criminals, sir, that we speak of, be it Mukhtar Ansari or Atiq Ahmed. I'm very glad that as per the due process of law was followed and it came through. And I'm very glad that Vikram Singh Saab, who have had the honor of debating many times, also mentioned that yes, this should happen, but under the ambit of the law. Now, let me again come back to Justice Gawai and Justice Vishwanathan's Supreme Court orders. There was a 95-page judgment, followed petitions representing citizens from several states, including Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan. The top court, in its verdict, invoked extraordinary powers under Article 142 of the Constitution to issue a slew of binding directives to fasten accountability on public officials. They include 15 days prior notice of demolition to the occupants. The notice must provide details of the nature of unauthorized construction, and the final order of the authority must have reasoned conclusions. The actual demolition must be videographed. The fact of the matter is, please go ahead. If this brings revenue to the state, it is going to help. It is going to bring down criminals. It is going to stop the rioters. Go ahead and do it. But also, the court mentions, the same order mentioned very important point about the collective punishment. They also say, with respect to the man who's committed the crime, but what about the father who is a pious person? If the son turns out to be a recalcitrant son, why should be the mother, father, kids be rendered homeless? What state is this? Is the state come to a lawlessness order where might is right?
RP Singh respond.
RP
Singh respond.
Why
because
are
what
the
is the
Supreme Court or
urgency?
the High Court's even there?
What is the
If the state can
urgency
take
to
complete
demolish
control?
within 24 hours? What is the urgency to demolish within 24 hours of that notice? As Syed Asad Abbas mentioned, Supreme Court had said certain guidelines, and they include a response period, and let me quote, a response period that must align with either local municipal laws or be a minimum of 15 days from the date of service of notice, whichever is longer. Not done in the case of the right accused Fahim Khan. No sympathy for an alleged writer. If he is guilty, hang him. But shouldn't due process of law be followed, sir?
Gaurav, you yourself said that as per the municipal law. So this
whichever is longer, sir, whichever is longer. Supreme Court binds directive of 15 days.
I never interrupted you, sir. Please don't stop doing that. So also, there is a difference between unauthorized construction and illegal occupation. Municipal corporation or other government authorities have right to vacate the illegal occupation wherever they are. And for that, the law is 24 hours. Yes.
No. Again, you're going wrong, sir. No, do not give misinformation on the show. Please read the judgment carefully, RP Singh Sahab, and then let's debate. Let us hear what the Supreme Court bench has said, sir. 15 days is a binding directive there. Illegal
At that
point,
occupation
RP
or
Singh quickly
encroachment is the
respond.
same.
RP Singh quickly respond.
And I never interrupted, sir. Please. I mean, I'll heckle you more than you can heckle me. And I'm much more louder voice than yours.
Don't
So
misinform
issue
is
is,
all I'm saying.
Gaurav, please.
Yeah.
Issue
Go on,
is,
sir.
if there is another construction, then it's 15 days. If there's an illegal occupation of government land, then it is as per the law which has been followed by the local authorities, local
How is
government
it government land,
authority.
sir? It is a property of the accused. It is not government land.
How
It
do
is
you
the
know that?
property of the
No,
accused.
Sayyid
How
Asad
does
Abbas.
that become government land?
How do you know it is not government land? Because the municipal corporation says it's illegal construction. How do you know it is not government land?
Has the BMC mentioned that it is a government land? Sir, it
So
is his
please
home
cross-check
there.
that fact
It's his
and come
private
back.
property.
Please,
It's
private property,
his
illegal
private property.
construction without
Okay.
due process of law being
Where in the
followed.
notice is
But
it
I want
mentioned
to
that it
bring
is
in,
government
I
land?
want to bring in Vikram
Where
Singh
in the
once
notice
again.
is it mentioned
Dr.
government
Vikram
land?
Singh, the law is to protect the innocent and not shield the mafia with their best lawyers, with an enabling ecosystem. Are they exploiting every loophole in the system? And does that demoralize the crime fighters and law enforcers? Because the law must apply in all its majesty to ensure that there is no next riot that takes place. Of course, due process of law has to be followed by the police, by the municipal corporation. But are we somewhere seeing a system that must also protect the weak and not the mafia?
Absolutely, Gauravji, you have hit the nail on the head. Number one, the rule of law is supreme, and also the solemn orders passed by the Honorable Supreme Court are sacred, and there can be no question of diluting the instructions given by the Honorable Supreme Court. But the orders are very clear. You would see that in Madhya Pradesh, in Uttar Pradesh, demolitions continue to happen in spite of the cover fire, and as you very rightly mentioned, the special interest groups who are giving cover fire to the mafia and those who usurp priceless government land. I have also personally faced this allegation. What has the father done? Where is the father and the children at fault? Agreed. I would say that administration and the priorities of the administration are very different. If the mafia was indifferent to the requirement of his family and his children, it is not for us to have misplaced compassion for the family. If he did not have that compassion for his family and the parents, there is no reason why the administration should have that misplaced compassion. He erred and crossed the Lakshman Rekha, transgressed the rule of law, and therefore the rule of law is supreme, and it will come down like a ton of bricks. Make no mistake about that. And there are ways and means of doing it.
I will let that be the last word on this part of the show. There's a big story coming up on the other side of a very short break. To all my guests, many thanks for joining me. So crucial India-US trade talks to begin tomorrow. US Trade Rep Brendan Lynch is on a visit to India. India likely to seek temporary relief from reciprocal tariff. Brendan Lynch is the US Assistant Trade Representative for South and Central Asia, will pay a 5-day visit to India beginning Tuesday, days before Donald Trump's tit-for-tat tariffs kick in on the 2nd of April. The senior US trade official is expected to hold talks with Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal. He'll be meeting a number of senior Indian officials. It's learned India's strategy is also hoping to discuss with Lynch the possibility of an India-centric waiver from reciprocal tariffs, at least as a temporary measure, because the tit-for-tat tariffs come into effect from the 2nd of April. The two sides are also expected to hold negotiations to firm up a framework for a bilateral trade agreement that would address issues relating to the market access and levies. India, of course, remains engaged with the US administration at various levels to arrive at a mutually beneficial trade agreement. That's what the Ministry of External Affairs has said. We will track this story very closely.